During this World Cup, there were 23 condiment bottles sat in the press box at the Levi Stadium, and FIFA sent somebody round to tape over every single label. Not just the stadium branding, not just the advertisement boards, the ketchup. Somebody got paid to go along a counter, blinding bottles of sauce because the wrong brand name was on show. And here's the strange part. After all that, the tape, the renamed stadiums, the blank card machines, the two ads that got the most attention at this whole tournament weren't bought by anybody. Nobody booked them, nobody planned them. FIFA made them by accident, by trying to cover them. This is one of them, a white tarp, and by the time we're done, I want to show you how this happened, and why FIFA basically paid for it. To get why a tarp ended up being one of the most talked about pieces of marketing at the World Cup, you need to understand what FIFA built around it, because a clean venue rule isn't really a rule, it's a whole system, and it goes way further than you'd think. Every stadium at this World Cup had to cover up or strip out any branding that didn't belong to an official FIFA sponsor. Not just the name on the roof, every logo, every sign, anything pointing at a company that hadn't paid FIFA directly. SoFi Stadium became Los Angeles Stadium, MetLife became New York, New Jersey Stadium, AT&T, Hard Rock, and Gillette turned into Dallas, Miami, and Boston. Companies that paid hundreds of millions to stick their name on a building watched it disappear for a month. And it didn't stop at the walls. At Boston Stadium, someone counted out 64,146 pieces of blue tape and covered the logo and every single seat, which is roughly when we end up back at the press box and the 23 bottles of sauce. There was one thing they couldn't cover. Atlanta Stadium has a massive Mercedes-Benz logo built into the roof, 8 panels that open and shut like a camera lens. You can't tape over that without breaking it, so people let it stay. One exception, and an operation thorough enough to go after the ketchup. And honestly, I get why they do it. Roughly a third of FIFA's money comes from sponsorships. When a brand pays to be an official partner, the thing they're actually buying is that nobody else gets in. For 1 month, a few billion people look inside these stadiums and see them and just only them. If MetLife's name is on the building hosting the final, that's billions of views MetLife never paid for. So FIFA takes it down. All of it, right down to the sauce. The logic is fine. The problem is, it's been backfiring the exact same way for about 20 years. Back in 2006, at the World Cup in Germany, a Dutch beer company called Bavaria hands out thousands of pairs of orange lederhosen to Holland fans. Barely any branding on them, just leather shorts in a natural colour. Just a bit of fun. But FIFA didn't see the funny side. At one of Holland's games, the fans turned up in them and got stopped at the gate. FIFA said, take them off or you're not coming in. Budweiser was the official beer, Bavaria wasn't. And within a week, Bavaria had more attention and more goodwill of Dutch fans than Budweiser managed the whole tournament. And FIFA handed them that for nothing. You'd think that was a lesson learned. It wasn't. At the 2010 South Africa World Cup, Bavaria again was at the scene. This time, 36 women in orange dresses at Holland against Denmark, and it was still just orange. FIFA security pulled them out of the crowd mid-match, and 2 of them ended up charged under South African ambush marketing law and appeared in front of a magistrate's court in Johannesburg for wearing dresses to football. That week, Bavaria's website became the 5th most visited beer site in the UK, a country that they barely sell in. Meanwhile, Budweiser, the actual sponsor, had to put out a statement saying it had nothing to do with the women being removed and couldn't have stopped it anyway, which is about the worst thing a World Cup sponsor could be made to say out loud. Now, the Bavaria stuff was on purpose. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they did it twice. That's worth keeping in mind, because what happened in 2026 wasn't planned at all, it just fell in 2 brands' laps. Let's start with Levi's. Their stadium's in Santa Clara, and for the tournament, FIFA renamed it to the San Francisco Bay Area Stadium, which by itself is a stretch, given it's about 40 miles from San Francisco. And due to the rules, they had to cover the outside branding, so Levi's covered it, and stuck a big white sheet over the sign. The sheet took the word Levi's off the building, but somebody had cut it in the shape of the logo. So the Batwing, the Levi's logo, the one you can picture right now without trying, was suddenly this giant white shape across the front of the stadium, sat there on every broadcast. The cover-up didn't shrink the logo, it made it bigger. So you could argue it stands out more, due to the mystery of why the Levi's logo is covered. Levi's didn't plan that, they followed the instruction, and the instruction accidentally proved that their logo works even with the name taken off it. Then, they posted about it, and switched the profile picture to the covered up sign, and pulled in something like 700,000 likes in a day. The clever bit online came second. The sheet was already on the TV before the marketing team typed a word. Then basically the same thing happened to Beats. Before Germany's opener against Curacao, Jamal Musiala, Bayern's 23-year-old and one of the best players at the tournament, got stopped on the walk to the pitch and was told to tape over the logo in his headphones. Not bin them, just tape over the B. FIFA's reason for this is the same as always. Beats is owned by Apple. Apple is not a sponsor, so the B has to go. And then the same thing happened that's been happening since 2006. The photo of Musiala in a tunnel with the taped headphones was everywhere within an hour, purely because of the tape, not despite it. Every outlet was running the same headline that said, "Look what FIFA made him do to his Beats," which essentially advertised Beats for free. Beats clocked it straight away and leaned in. They posted a clean studio shot with the tape still on, with the caption, "Spoiler alert, it's a B." They changed their profile picture to the tape logo too, which was the same move as Levi's. Get covered up, then make the cover up the whole point. And then Heinz did the most on-the-nose version of the whole thing. Remember those bottles from the start? The ones somebody went round taping over in the press box? Heinz turned that into an actual advert. Their own bottle, label taped over, and underneath it, the slogan, "It still has to be," and then nothing, because the name's covered up. Unofficial stadium ketchup is here. The taping wasn't done to them by accident and then salvaged. They watched it happen and made the campaign out of it. The cover-up was the ad. And notice who this doesn't work for. Companies like SoFi, MetLife, AT&T. Their logos didn't survive getting covered, because once you take the letters away, there's nothing left to recognise. They paid for the naming rights, and then lost them for a month, and got nothing back. Quick one before the interesting part. If you're into this kind of thing, the stuff going on behind the football, rather than the football itself, that's the whole channel. Subscribe, and you'll get more of it. So, the story everybody's been sharing is that these smaller brands keep outsmarting FIFA. And in the moment, they do. But I don't think it's anywhere near the win it's been made out to be. And there's two reasons why. First one, it fades. Right now, the Levi sheet is funny because it's new. Give it a fortnight and it's just part of the stadium. Nobody's screenshotting it for the 100th time. The joke wears off, and the fans move on. And for the rest of the tournament, that sheet quietly does the exact job FIFA wanted it to do. It covers up an unpaid sponsor on every wide shot of the ground and every bit of matchday B-roll. Same with the headphones. Unless the next player told to tape up a logo is a bigger name than Musiala. And that's a hard ask. The backfire only works well as a novelty, and novelty doesn't last a month. Don't get me wrong, both brands banked a small permanent win out of it. A spike of attention they'll never have to pay for. And it's theirs to keep, but a spike isn't the system falling apart. It's a system that works fine almost all the time, getting embarrassed for one afternoon. And the second reason is the one I keep coming back to. Even at full volume, that spike is small. Because while everyone was busy sharing a photo of a tarp, the brands who actually paid to be inside the World Cup were having the time of their lives. Adidas posted a photo of Messi celebrating in front of the FIFA boards right after he scored a hat-trick against Algeria, his first ever at the World Cup. The goals that drew him level as a joint top scorer in the tournament's entire history. Their ball in the shot, their boots on his feet, the greatest of all time. Their posts of this moment over Twitter, Instagram, TikTok and other social media did over 100 million views. More than the Levi's and Beats moments put together. And here's the thing Levi's and Beats can never touch. Adidas were allowed to be there. They've got the rights to the actual football. So they can put Messi making history straight on their account because they paid to be inside the thing instead of taped over outside of it. A denim brand and a pair of headphones got a clever afternoon out of being banned. Adidas got Messi. So yes, FIFA paid for those two ads by accident, and it's a great story, but the brands actually winning this World Cup aren't the ones who got covered up. To me, it's the ones who wrote the check to be in the room. So, that's the case. Tell me what you think. Is anybody still going to be talking about that Levi sheet by the time we get to the final? Or do the brands who actually paid their way in win this every time? I'm genuinely curious. This is Byline. See you in the next one.